Hey guys. Anyways, I'm so sorry if you were on the previous live stream. I'm switching back to StreamEast. I tried to get a better platform and it is obviously not working. So I'm making sure now let's make sure this is working. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Anyways, I'm really sorry. It's absolutely stupid. But anyways, here's what I ended up locking in on Prize Picks, and if any lines moved, I apologize. That's fucking stupid. But here's what I ended up going with. So the final play I was saying is Brian Robinson under 1.5 receptions. Are we working now? Everything is breaking, someone says. What's breaking? Are we working? So let me check here. I apologize. Let me just send the fuck. So anyways, let's go back here. Are we good? Anyway, someone let me know if this stops working. I'm going to remember to check every once in a while, and I really have to figure out a new platform. I also need to get a second desktop so I can respond to people in the chat, because right now it's stupid because I have to go back and look. Anyways, regardless, here's what I ended up going with on Prize Picks. I don't know where we ended up, cutting off, but we have a decent start on Prize Picks, and this is what I ended up going with. So Robinson under 1.5 receptions. I think that's where the live stream broke, and I have no idea why it stops at, particular times. But you'll see, long story short, all sports books have his under, pretty heavily favored. But if we go to Underdog, I was building here's 3 picks I have, and I was building a 5-pick entry. Doesn't seem like any of the lines moved yet, so we're good. Again, I apologize. So let me go back here and let me go to Underdog, where we haven't, could definitely use some better luck on Underdog, but there are some good line discrepancies today. So for example, this D7 player I was showing was his line's 13 on Underdog Fantasy. This play's crazy good, right? You can see other sports books have his line at 16. So, clear as day value on that play. And what else do we have? And we have Jacquinho over 12. So if we go back here and we go to, you can just kind of take a look at the CSGO lines, and you'll see this plays really good as well. So let's go here, right? You can see about as clear as it gets, right? Just kind of looking at the sportsbook screen. Underdog has his line at 12, 13.5 on Prize Picks and ParlayPlay. And then Hot Streak, which, we cashed a big play on. I'm not the biggest fan of them. But in general, they've been a profitable book for me. So small complaints are kind of whatever. I'm a pretty nice guy. But you can see Underdog has his line at 12. You can middle this, right? You just need to sign up for more sports books. Get the over 12, get the under 14.5 on Hot Streak. That is a beautiful middle. If he has 14 or 13 headshots, that's what his line is centered around. That's what he's most likely to end up on. You'll win both bets. If he has 12, you'll push on Underdog. You'll win on Hot Streak. But anyways, let's finish off this slip. So let's go back here. And also we can see if Underdog has TD lines up. So I know they did for college football. Damn, they actually released a lot of lines. So this was a play. So if we take a look here. But anyways, let's just ignore college football for now. Let's just try to get a slip done. So let's go back here. Let's go to Underdog. Okay. So again, we can't include plays from the same game. So I'm skipping over this. This play is a crazy middle bet, but the market is super divided. Dante Moore. Underdog has his line at 228.5. Caesars is all the way up at 249.5. But it's super weird. It's half the sports books have his line at 228.5. Half the books have his line at 249.5. But the next play I really like is Hunter under 20, right? So again, you want to consider the juice. Where do books have lines juiced to? So we have now 3 esports plays. But hey, that's just, I'll bet wherever wherever there's value. So if we go back to CSGO, what we can take a look at is we can take a look at headshots. So let's just take a look at player headshots right now. And let's take a look at our boy Hunter. I mean, 20 here, right? It's 19 on ParlayPlay. It's 18.5 on Prize Picks. And then Hot Streak is a sports book. So just like DraftKings, they have variable payouts. So if you take a look, like you want to consider like what do they have lines juiced to? And they have the line at 18.5 with the under heavily favored, right? Minus 161 juice towards the under. So that makes the under 20 seem really good, right? So like sports books imply win percentages through their odds, right? So like, for example, if we go to the NFL, you know, you can see like whatever, let's say the Bills, let's just call them minus 200. You know, they're pretty big favorites, minus 200. That means a 2-to-1 betting favorite, 2/3 to win the game, 66.67% to win. The Lions are pretty big favorites, but they're even bigger favorites. So let's call them minus 400, right? Minus 470 plus 360. Say they're roughly minus 400, whatever. That means the market is implying they're a 4-to-1 favorite, 4/5 to win, 80% to win. So there's like a big difference in how big of a, you know, how likely an outcome is. And sportsbooks are telling you that through their odds. In the same way, the stock price indicates the valuation of a company. But anyways, let's go back here. We can also see, so we have Hunter under 20, and that is our third pick on Underdog. So on Underdog, they give you good payouts on 3-pick entries. They give you a 6x payout. Again, Prize Picks is only 5x. So if we wanted to, there are 2 other plays we can go with. So you can see here, this guy, right? His line is 28.5 here. It's 26.5 on Prize Picks, 26.5 on ParlayPlay. So, I mean, it's a clear edge on the under on Underdog Fantasy. And again, like a lot of people love to really think about every single bet they're placing, and they only place one bet a day. But that's really not smart, right? Like you'll see Underdog Fantasy, they only give me a maximum bet size. So here I have a 5-pick entry that I'm going to go ahead and lock in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 overs. 2 overs. And, you know, I kind of like to double check things occasionally, especially if it's a bigger slip, just because you never want to fat finger or accidentally take the under. But what I was going to say is Underdog Fantasy, right? They give you, you know, like they only give you an $100 max bet size. So even if you had a really good ROI on Underdog, and please tell me this is working. Anyways, we are working. So that's incredible to hear. But anyways, what I was going to say is like, you know, even if you had a 20% ROI on Underdog, really good. If you're only placing one play a day for $100, you're making $20 a day. So the hard part is getting down the volume, right? Just like a pro poker player, they want to play a lot of hands, right? They know they're not going to win every hand. Sometimes you get dealt 2-7. You know, if you're a poker player, I like poker, but obviously I hopefully am a better sports bettor than a poker player. But anyways, this play I'm going to lock in. Hopefully you had some time to bet it. And there we go. We have our first, you know, kind of entry on Underdog Fantasy. So we can see if they have TD lines up as well. Sometimes Underdog Fantasy has, you know, super good TD lines. In general, these chili peppers, you know, I've taken a look at a fair amount of them. They all suck. So I'm just going to ignore their chili pepper ones just because I haven't seen any value on them. Man, these are all the chili pepper ones. Well, you can see some here. So Waddle, well, that's a chili pepper one. So Derrick Henry, I mean, like, you know, nothing. CJ Stroud. Too many chili peppers. Anyways, I'm wasting time. So what we can do next is we can go over to, you know, ParlayPlay, or we can take a look at Fliff as well. So I was explaining there's some good arbitrage bets on Fliff. I hit this one earlier, you know, for a nice little risk-free profit. Ooh, baby. Okay, so here we go. Here we have an arbitrage bet between Hot Streak and Underdog. So one of these bets has to be profitable. Plus 124 on Hot Streak or minus 122, which is technically the odds you're getting for, you know, a little 3-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy. And again, like if it doesn't make sense why Underdog Fantasy is minus 122 odds, like why does OddsJam say everything on Underdog is minus 122? Is again, any 3-pick parlay you create, you're going to be getting a 6x payout, right? So any 3 picks, overs, unders, soccer, baseball, whatever you select, you're always getting a 6x payout. So if you go here and then you just go to like a parlay calculator, where are the calculators? Man, I need a new computer. If you go here and you put in minus 122s across the board, you're going to see any 3-leg parlay on a sports book where every leg is minus 122 odds is a 6x payout. You're going to be betting 100 to win 600. So because every single 3-pick entry on Underdog is a 6x payout, you know, they're just giving you minus 122 odds on everything on the board. So all, you know, Underdog Fantasy is minus. So you're just looking for plays that look really good at minus 122 odds. In other words, winning above 55, percent of the time. But anyways, we can go back here to ParlayPlay, and then we'll go back to Prize Picks because there were some other plays on Prize Picks. And we can take a look at, anything here. So like this play is like, what is going on here in these CSGO plays? It's crazy, man. So if we look at like player kills, look at this guy. Once Underdog loads, 34.5, 31.5, 34. Meh. You could middle bet again on Underdog Fantasy. We got this guy D7. We got him over 13. So if you go back here and, we kind of take a quick little peek at Underdog Fantasy. So the promo play from earlier today or yesterday or whatever is looking decent. But, we have this guy over 13. So what you could do if you wanted to, it kind of depends on your risk tolerance or whatever. You could take him under 16 on ParlayPlay, kind of like hedge a little. Anything we're in love with here? I mean, it looks like there's some decent plays, but who knows? So like Bijan Robinson, for example, the great thing about ParlayPlay is they just have really good payouts, right? So like Bijan, for example, it's recommending we take the under 81.5. He's obviously been having a great season. And you can see Pinnacle has his line. First of all, they have his line lower at 79.5, but they also have the under pretty heavily favored at minus 142. So, getting under 81.5 on ParlayPlay seems really good, right? ParlayPlay is minus 114 odds, and Pinnacle has the line even lower at 79.5, and they have the under very heavily favored to like minus 142, whatever. But let's skip it over. And let's go to Fliff. Let's just go to Fliff. We can also see, if there's any prize picks. There were some prize picks UFC bets earlier, which I generally don't find. But, hey, if there's prize picks UFC value, we'll take it. So, Johnson over 20.5 rushing yards. Honestly, I don't see anything on Fliff, which is pretty rare. Usually Fliff has some good lines, but not right now. Okay. Again, like there's a lot of strategies for making money. Arbitrage betting, definitely not a game for the lazy. But if you have Caesars and DraftKings, right, like huge discrepancy here. Caesars and DraftKings. Sam Houston State Liberty game hit the over 9.5 at minus 120, the under 9.5 at plus 124. You can make a little risk-free profit of, it doesn't seem big, 0.81%, but you got to remember, like, these bets take 2 seconds to place, right? So if you hit this for $250, whatever on Caesars and DraftKings, you make $4 risk-free, and it's not like glamorous. But again, like I used to grind out these arbitrage profits every day when I got home from work. It's just free money, right? You're betting the over and the under on 2 different sports books to guarantee yourself a profit. It's just free money. It is just free money. But anyways, we can go back to prize picks. Oh, shit. What the fuck are they doing? And thank God we went back to prize picks. So let's get rid of these combo props for a second and let's kind of zone in. Did we just catch a huge error? I think we did. Damn, there are a lot of prize picks bets showing up. Or is this like a late night Taco Tuesday? What are they doing? So if we go to the NFL, this is in rushing plus receiving yards. Where are you? Where is this? Oh, here it is. Nope. Nope. It's right here. So this isn't a Taco Tuesday, but what are they doing? I feel like I'm going insane. And again, Prize Picks has me on some poverty betting limits, so it doesn't really matter for me. But hopefully, you know, you guys are able to capitalize on this. I mean, I'm going to bet it too, but like, I'm just not going to be able to, unfortunately, get a lot of action down. But what? Did I miss something? Like, what are they doing here? 58.5 on Prize Picks, 76.5 on every other sports book. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this plays clear as day that the optimizer picked up. And then again, like, I know some people don't, I don't want to include the same slip, yada, yada, yada. You know, and it's like, I get it. Then don't include, you know, the same pick. But I want to move quickly. Like, clearly they're screwing up a line here. James Conner, unless I'm going insane and missing something. But if we go to, like, you know, Underdog Fantasy, we can kind of like fact check. James Conner, 76.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Like, go. Hit his over real quick on Prize Picks. Hit his under on Underdog Fantasy. And I never want to say, like, you know, max bet or anything like that. But, like, this play, I think, has a really good edge. I mean, right? Like, about as clear as it gets. So, Tua under, Diggs under. You know, all these plays we've kind of been through, so I don't want to dwell on them. And then we have, oh, shit. So what does actually pair? Well, no, it doesn't pair well. I was going to say it doesn't make sense to take Russell Wilson under and Greg over. It also doesn't make sense to take Greg over and Zach Wilson over. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, wait, where's Wilson? So I want to take Russell Wilson, right? No interception for Wilson as well. And if you wanted to, you could replace this with, you know, whatever. Like, if you want a different pick, you can take this guy over 5.5 kicking points. Underdog has his line at 6. All sportsbooks have the over heavily favored. But honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and lock this in. Like, and of course, the fucking line moved, right? Like, of course, the line moved on me. So maybe it's like, okay, like, you know. So what we could take is we could venture a little lower. I mean, hopefully some of you got it down. Again, like, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to get all these down before the line move, especially when I'm trying to give people time to bet it. So Jimmy Horn, receiving touchdowns, he's favored to go over. Yeah, I'm going to fade Jimmy Horn. But we can look up, you know, Josh Kelly or something like that. I mean, again, like, at the end of the day, what we could take is just like, what else do we like on Prize Picks? Maybe we add in some of the combo props again, which I don't know much about, but hey, combo props, you know, if there's value, we got to bet them. So let's go back here and let's take a look. Let's see how this pairs. So we want the McLaurin pair. And all these other picks are pretty clear. Like, if you look at this kicking prop, you know, why do we like him to go under 1.5 field goals? It's like, you know, it's clear as day. All the sports books have his under, heavily favored. The strategy never changes. That's what people get confused, is like once you understand, like the math behind these platforms, like again, I understand exactly because I've gone through it, right? And like this is the math behind Prize Picks. What percentage of your picks do you have to win to be profitable? What type of slip is optimal? Like, I know it all. We know it all. I know if I win over 54.25% of my picks, I'm going to be profitable long term. So I get, I at least personally don't get super emotional about, my bets and stuff like that. So like for this Texans gameplay, it's like, okay, like I know, right? If all the sports books have his under heavily favored and he's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over, just kind of looking at kicking props, OddsJam is just reading in the data. His under's heavily favored. Like this is a really good pick, that I can go with on Prize Picks. So anyways, what was the last pick I wanted to go with? DJ Moore plus Terry to score a touchdown. So there we go. And there we go. We have our final pick. So this is just kind of a different variation of like, I guess kind of, what we locked in earlier. So there you have it. And we can check Underdog Fantasy again. I mean, I'll stay up all night, as you probably know, looking around at these lines, trying to find some good bets, but did we already lock in a lot of these? I'm trying to remember. So if we go back here, Pull-Luck, we already locked in. So Underdog Fantasy has me at a max of whatever, 28.5. So I'm not even going to be able to bet any of these again. So I use all these sports books. I just kind of jump from book to book, platform to platform, depending on, wherever there's value in a given day. Like I love Fliff. Granted, I haven't had the best success on Fliff overall. But I use all these books and you're just kind of like bouncing around from platform to platform. Like when I was a trader, it would be some days, certain stocks would be hot and there would be a lot of movement, a lot of trades. And other days it would be another industry. Sometimes the tech industry is hot, sometimes healthcare, whatever. So like sometimes there's a lot of good bets on, FanDuel. Like you can see there's actually some good bets on FanDuel right now. So I'll have to do a FanDuel live stream soon. Sometimes there's good bets, but there's no bets on Fliff, right? So I'm not going to give out any Fliff plays if I can't find anything with value, just because that's how I bet personally. But anyways, we locked in this on Underdog, nothing on ParlayPlay today. And then these two picks on, Prize Picks. So hopefully we can close out tomorrow. Hopefully this play can win, but we'll have to see. But thanks so much for tuning in and, see you guys tomorrow.